uniforms, and then take breakfast and go. So meaning, ang take a bath and go, more than na siya ending for beginning and ending, but in between, you can replace the sequence. Okay? But in pneumatics, guys, you can change the sequence from the beginning to the start. It depends on the desired output sa inyong automation. So later on, you will know how it would be done. Okay? Next, so the sequence solution method. So the main solution of solving sequences are cascade pneumatics. So this is a circuits provided a stranded method of solving any sequence. So it uses minimum additional logic hardware, one logic valve per group of the sequence step. Okay, so that's for the cascade pneumatics. Okay, so there is in between the sequence, guys, there is a additional logic hardware. So sa mga logic nga ato na isgutan na, so we already encounter OR, we already encounter AND. So meaning from the step 1 to step 6 or whatever steps you need to have in order to get the desired output of a pneumatic circuit, in between of the sequence there is an additional logic hardware. Okay, it could be one logic valve per group of sequence. Okay, now the shift register or of pneumatics base, so similar to cascade but use logic valve for every steps. Okay, so ang cascade kay one logic circuit per sequence, but for the shift register, it should be one logic valve for every step. So this is the first step, second, third, fourth, fifth. So every step there is one logic valve. Okay? Sa cascade is any in between the steps man from step 1 to 5, nara sa steps 3 nara ang logics nga part. Okay, nara si AND or si OR, si hadapita. That is what we call the cascade. But kung tanan na ganing step, nagamit siya og logic circuit like the OR, the rebikas, then the AND, then the NOT OR, then the NOT AND. So there. So every step has the pneumatic logic circuit. So that is what we call already the shift register method. Okay? In electro-pneumatic, that is what we will be having in our next discussion. So we use solenoid valves and electromagnetic mechanical relays. Okay? So electromechanical relays, more on that on the next topic, guys. And solenoid, we already encountered that in the one exercises 1 to 8 that we had the last time. So when we do some we usually do spring return and push button, okay, but we already introduced it that this one of the opening or the startup of the automation. It could be a push button and then a spring return, or we can have a electromagnetic relays and the solenoid. So more on that on the electro-pneumatics. Now, PLC, which is the last topic that we have for finals, or programmable logic controller. So this is another sequence of methods. It is the standard solution for medium of complex sequential system. So except where electrical equipment cannot be used. So the PLC, guys, kanang pwede man ta makahimog automation, guys. Pwede ta makahimog automation sa usa ka process with the use of relays and electro-pneumatics. Pero ang nakaapan lang is daghan kay tang wiring. Okay? Kaya atong tawag, atong i-relay ani nga second step, okay, mo na sa niyang buhaton, i-relay na sa dani nga third step, mo na yung buhaton, mo na yung circuit. So, kay PLC, guys, pwede lang tayo magamit og relay in completing one process and automating one process. However, there will be a lot of components and wirings that needs to be used. But if we have PLC, guys, if we have programmable logic controller, ang ato lang mabuha, ang nakanindot-an na is that ang imong components lang ang kinahanglan, maura ang naa. Okay? And then, kanang components imong kinahanglan, imo ra na siyang programon diri sa PLC para siya ang PLC na mo'y magda sa sequence. Okay? Unsay unang mabuhat, what's the first step, what's the second step, third, and fourth. So there are a lot of sequence that can be programmed in PLC using the ladder logic program, okay, for those particular sequence para i-trabahoon, okay, for those components that are connected to the PLC to execute. Okay? So ana siya. So that is what we do on the last week, the last week that we had, guys, in our 4 days of training with the new PLCs that we had in mechatronics from the High Tech Power Incorporated. So we had the Siemens programming, and we have also PLC, and we have also the Allen Bradley PLC, which is Allen Bradley is the most easy to use nga PLC gyud. Gimurg siya ganang plug and play, then do the circuit for logic unsay maguna, ikay magbuot sa sequence unsay maguna, then there steps, all the steps that you need to do in the programming, then nakahanay lang gid siya dapat. Sige, the components are already there, drag and click na lang ka. So I need to have an normally open connection, so i-drag lang nimo from the component. So there, later on you will see there we will be Sir Dax and I is planning for a collaboration for the last part for final, guys. We will be having our video discussions together with the use of the PLCs that we have in our laboratory, since it is not possible for you to be there in the laboratory to enjoy and to create programs using PLC. So what we will do instead with our laboratory, we will just be having a video recorded video discussion with the use of the laboratory that we have in mechatronics, and how we will do the automation with the programs that we will be having on those many automations that we have with Siemens PLC and also with the Allen Bradley PLC. Okay? So there. Nauna na nato, guys, para at least manamoy makita on how you're supposed to do it when you will be in the laboratory. But then again, because of the pandemic, we will just be doing it for you na lang. Okay? So don't feel unfortunate. Okay? Every time you feel unfortunate, guys, always think about the people in the street with no homes and nothing to eat. Okay? So, na siya for you to feel that with beyond this things that are happening right now, you're still one of those fortunate ones. Okay? So there. So na siya. That's our sort of motivation. There, so this is an example of a sequence control, guys. So it is already programmed here on this box where you see there water for letter A, brushing for B, air, jet drying for C, and the start and the cancel. Okay, so when we press the start, guys, it is automatically programmed that the first thing that we will do in car washing is nakasakay naman siya sa conveyor, guys. Di naman mo dagan ang sakyanan. There are already rollers below it nga mo transfer sa car from one end to another. But when you click start, that will automatically when you press start, it will automatically run the motor to transfer the vehicle from one end to the other end. And once the sensor for watering see that there is already an object, okay, within the kanang sugod sa entrance pa lang daan sa car wash nga sa kaning gibutangan ni daing sud. Okay, ang sensor na gigamit that if there's already object coming in, so that will trigger the water sprinkler. So unsa may buhat unsa may mahimo is that abli ang hose, and then it will sprinkle water on the car. Okay, now once it reaches to the other end, it will turn off. That's also the signal in the programming. That is also another signal to turn off the water sprinkler. And then that's also the beginning. Also, in sequence, that's the beginning on the next program. That is the beginning for brushing. So that will dispense the soap, liquid soap, and then the brush. Okay, until it reaches to the other end. Now, once it reaches to the other end, what will happen again? It will trigger the next sequence. Is it will trigger the water sprinkler to water the car after it is done brushing, and also with the soap in it. Then once it reaches to the other end, it will turn off the water sprinkler, and that will do the next sequence, which is the air dry. Okay, so it will turn on the air dry until it reaches to the other end. And once it reaches to the other end, that means the car is already washed. Okay, so that's the sequence. Okay, so with the use of the programming in this box, okay, it can control the water sprinkler, the brushing here, and the soap liquid soap that's coming in, and the watering here, and then the air drying in there. Okay, so that is already in sequence, and that is programmed in this box. Okay, there. So we use also sequence control, guys, in industrial automation. So we're in the process, we're automated in sequence depending on the process. Okay, so if I hope that you will have in your curriculum, guys, the manufacturing tour. Okay, so that you can visit all the manufacturing in Cebu, especially in maps. Okay, where is our economic zone, where we have a different types of industry, different types of product, different types of process, and others or majority of our companies right now are already doing automations in their process, because when we do automation, guys, we don't have like kung ang tao magud mo trabaho, guys, there is emotion, and there is physical health that needs to be considered. But when we do automation, we are now holding with machines, and machines doesn't have any emotions at all. So what is expected to them for the output, it should be come up. Okay, so the only thing that we feel is that if there's something wrong with the machine. Okay, but kung ang tao manggod, kung manpower manggod, guys, is that naay emotions nga gibati labi na naay problema sa balay, that will really affect. Okay, especially kung kamao, depende lang po kung kamao mo dala sa imuhang mga problema, that when you go to work, always remember that you need a job and your family needs, there's a family for you to feed. Okay, so if you can just also, by the time you park your motorcycle or park in the parking lot, you can also park your problem there. There are actually people that can do it, but majority doesn't have the capacity to do it, so it really affects the output. Okay, and once you have your craft, guys, whatever talent that you have, but if you are actually happy in doing it, there's really a good output. But if there's something wrong with you emotionally or physically, the output is also affected. Okay, so this is why majority of the company right now, especially if they needs to have bulk output or bulk product, guys, they really do automation. Like the San Miguel Beer is doing automation right now. Coca-Cola is doing automations. Wala na dyan kayo makita nga itong manpower. Ang manpower nga to siguro is just to pack na lang siguro. Okay? There for the transfer, mga driver na lang to deliver, but anything in the manufacturing process, in cleaning the bottles and feeding it with Coke or any other soft drinks, Royal, Sprite, and sa pamangani, and then closing it then with a cup or crown, then everything is automated already. There is no already process that you will see. The humans there will only need to check the process if it's running properly. Okay, there. So na siya. That is one of the example of industrial automations. Okay, so in the food industry, guys, especially, okay, so bulk process ng mga hopia nato sa Cebu, so kana more on the step-by-step process and automation. There are really a lot of process that mechatronics can do. Okay, they can also do an automation on checking food spoilage, okay, or any other food processing for sorting. So the automation, the industrial automation miniature that we have with the Siemens PLC programming, it has a 5 steps automation, from the distribution to testing to processing, indexing, and sorting. So you can see there a small automation process, and this can be used also in the food product. Okay, so in distribution, it will distribute all the output nga nahuman na luto, and then it will test. Okay, the testing could be kung nabay magtest siya, kung nabay nalain or nabay problema sa sa food, okay, like the food spoilage sensor. Okay, kung ma-detect niya, it can be also for ipa-open niya ang agianan, go to defects, and then if not, then close ang iyang way for the defects. Okay, para mo straight ra siya for process. So when processing, pwede na to na siya pwede na to siya sa processing nga part, pwede na to siya i-pack, okay, into kanang tinagsa nga sulod, okay, and then label it. The next in the indexing is to check kung naabay wala na tarong ugpak and everything. Then after ana is segregate siya asa dapit ang flavor nga mango, asa dapit nga flavor nga ube, asa dapit is there. So we can do that in automation, guys. Okay? So the uses of sequence control in business industry in washing and laundry. Okay? So mo na siya, guys. This is what you really see some of the when you go from one city or from one location to another, from Lapu-Lapu to Mandaue, you really see a lot of laundry nga mga business na. Okay? And you see this kind of this kind of washing machines that's already there. Okay? Because this type of washing machine manggod na dito ang butanganan sa liquid powder, na nangato ang butanganan sa liquid soap for your fabric conditioner, then nanapod ang hose where the water will be supplied, and then nanapoy hose for draining, i-drain, okay? And then all you need to do is to put your clothes there, okay? After nimong itimbang, imong put ang clothes, then you just need to turn it on sa imong kaganahan nga klase nga panglabas, soft ba, medium, hard, and then there you can just select that, and then siya na mag-mix in sequence. So siya na ang kanina siya nga machine is already programmed in sequence. First is iya mo na i-wash ang mga sinina nga gibutangan to. So once it's wet, it will drain. Then after that, it will put water again, and it will turn on. The next step is it will turn on the storage. Okay, it will open the storage of the liquid, the powder, the soap powder. Okay, and after that, it will do what type of washing that you desire, the soft, the medium, and the hard. It will do that, and after that, it will wash again the clothes. Okay, and then drain, wash, drain. So kung sa ato pa na, guys, katulo na to giwas-wasan. And then after that, it will turn on or open the storage for fabric conditioner, and then put water, the last wash, and then it will drain, and then it will turn on the dryer. Okay, so magtuyok na siya, naka-air dryer na siya. It has time limit, and there is also sensor to test the temperature, okay, and to check as well the clothes if they're still wet or not. And then after that, once it's already good and it's already dry, it will give signal to the power to turn it off. Okay, so that's the sequence iyahang gibuha ang iyahang naa sa iyahang pag-washing. So all you need to do is to put your clothes in there, select the type of wash that you want to have, and turn it on, and then wait. Okay, then once it stopped, then you can get your clothes and you can go. Okay, so as simple as that, guys. Kaysa ato ang ipangbuhat karon gani, I like this type of washing machine actually, but for the problem that we had right now in our vicinity, that our water is only up during evening to dawn already. So kung sa in the middle from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. walay water. Okay, so saan na to na pag-wash? Pwede mag-washing sa kadlawon, mag-night shift na mag-wash. Okay, so I don't know what happened to our water supply, why we only have water from 8 p.m. until 5 a.m. But when it's already 6 or sometimes makabot pag 6, but when already 6 plus 8 in the morning, and then down to the 6 p.m. or almost 7 p.m. we don't have water. So that's why we have a lot of storage na. So I'm most na akong gusto nga ganahan na lang ko makabutang og kanang dako kayo nga barrel sa babaw, okay, water storage, so that nga mechanically driven na lang to have a water pump para saka sa once it's the water is up, para at least there's still a normal supply of water. Okay, so muna na siya. You find ways when there is really a problem, guys. So maybe in your age right now, you let your mom solve that for you, but the time you will be adult and you have already your own family, because during my age when like you guys, I always rely to my parents and how they can solve it. But now that I am already a parent, at this age as well, that I'm already in this maturity and this part of life na siguro. So sa ako ang edad dun guys, what I need to do
Lagi.
is fixing problem and then addressing all my bills and everything to already enjoy everything on that particular age. So ana guys, so when I was in your age, I really enjoy the things that a teenager will do or a young adult will do. Okay? Okay, mo man daw na nasa Maslow hierarchy of needs guys, if you understand those 5 steps. Okay? Every step we need to kung na siya ato gina siyang i-satisfy. Okay, we need to satisfy each step so that we can't go back. Okay, that's why you notice or you see it that some of the adults already are fond of collecting mga duwaan like mga cars, Barbie dolls, and everything. It's because during their younger days they don't have that experience. So that is why they are not satisfied. Mo na siya mahitabo is when you have already the money to buy it for yourself and it's already late. Okay? So mo na siya guys. So in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we need to satisfy each level. So that once we already on the top of our age, so we already have we can already actualize. So we already reached the last step of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which is self-actualization. Okay? So just a short motivation guys, injecting to our class. Okay? Next, so we have here the uses of sequence controls and bank automation. Okay, so in doing the withdrawals and depositing, guys, so some of the banks are doing already in automations. Okay, in money deposit and money withdrawal. So most of the automated teller machines that we have right now, or ATM, is more on, majority of those are more on the withdrawals, but some of the machines that we had there, they can also do depository. So there are already sequence in the machines that they can do sensor of the money sensor na. So ma-sense nila pila ang mga money ang gisod nito in terms of paper, nalit lang coins. Okay? So from there, it is already programmed doing the addition and then comparing the bank account. So sa program na magdao guys. But sa mga components nga naangat to is that ang components para to get the money, to eject the money for withdrawal, and to get the money for depository, those are the sensors for money. Hindi naman na problema ang sensors. Kaya kamao naman ganit ka mo sense kung pila atong i-withdraw, pila ihatag sa machine. So the same theory that they will be having for depositing. So ilang ihapon ang gihatag pod, and then they will going, instead of giving it to you for withdrawal, ang mahitabo sa depository is that they will put it in the account number that you enter. Okay, so everything is already in program in sequence. Then we have also the beverage, the automations and process of terms of packaging. So all the liquor company that we have, or the company that has bottling industry, is they already use a sequence control and an automation already in terms of packaging. Okay, so here in agriculture also, so for those who have farms, they already invest automation. Kaya pila makahain nga if you own a hectares of lot guys, and you have this types of crops that you planted there, and you need really to have a lot of manpower kaya bising maabtan kag alas 12 guys, wa pa nimo nahurot, wa pa nimo nahuman og pamisbis tanan sa makataas sa hectares sa imong lot. So what you need to do is to have automation. Padagan na lang na ang water, and there is a moisture sensor. I-check niya ang moisture. If it's too dry, then it can turn on the sprinkler. Okay, and once the sensor for moisture already checked that the lot is already, or it's already moisturized and it's already enough moisturization of the land, then it will turn off the sprinkler. Okay, so that means dili na siya meaning dili kada adlaw kinahanglan siya bubuan. Okay? Kay naa may sensor na nga mag-check nga kung moisturized ba ang land or dili or too dry. Okay? Kay basin day mag-uwan ni kagabi, ikabuntag masense pa sa sensor nga it's still moisture. Kanang nagyan po siya ang land nga niya dili dry. Okay? It's still moisturized. So dili no need for me to turn on the sprinkler. So it's something like that. Okay? This is actually one of the projects that we have right now in MX, guys, in mechatronics. So I am actually handling the industrial project design. So this is one of the project that my students in industrial project design presented. One of the team presented this type of projects. Okay? So mag-check na siya sa moisturize sa land kung dry ba or wet ba. Kung wet siya, kaya nag-uwan, so no need for them to turn on the sprinkler. So the only way that the sprinkler will be open is once the moisturizer sensor tests that the land is dry and needs water. Okay? So ana siya. So we have also devices to operate or utilize by humans, guys, in doing the automation. So usually the first thing that we have is switches. So depende. So before we have our automation, we need to have a switch to turn on, and then after that it will run in sequence. Okay? So nagitay switch nga una i-turn on. Before nato ma-program or using relay or piloted process. Excuse me. Okay, so using those return valves, okay, para magtrabaho na siya in sequence. Okay? Like for example, sa kanisya, guys, na we need to water the plant. So before the sensor will be turned on, we need to have a push button to turn on the automations. Okay? And once it's already turned on, that's the time nga it will be run by sequence to check if the land is dry or needs moisture, needs water. Okay? So before it needs to turn on. So what we need to do as human is we need to have a switches. So it could be a push button switch, the one in red, a rotary switch, okay? So the one that you can turn left and right, so that's the rotary switch. That is more, the push button switch, guys, is normally used in turning on the process. The rotary switch is used actually, guys, in doing reset. Okay? If you're going to reset, you can just turn it to left and then back to right for reset. And the toggle switch, guys, it depends on how you're going to use it. If you're using a arms that needs to be turned from left going to right, using only this toggle switch, then it can be done also. Okay? It's sunny day and it's raining. So devices that shows indicator of the machine. So after we push the button, there could be indicators, guys. The indicators could be a LED lamp that will light up, or it could be a buzzer. Okay, para it means like it is an indicator nga napuno na ba ang tubig. Okay, there's a buzzer that will turn on. If it's too dry, then the buzzer will turn on and then it will turn on the sprinkler, something like that. So mga na siya mga indicators. Okay, kung sa ata pwede mo go to the next sequence nata indicator mo light up na siya. Okay, pareha sa ato ang kuan, guys, ba sa atong traffic lights nata indicator. Okay, when it's green it means go, when it's red it means stops, and when it is amber or yellow it means that you need to be ready to stop or ready to go. So devices that detect the machine, so these are the detectors. Okay, so detectors, it could limit the switch, it could be limit switch or proximity switch. Okay, so this type of switch, guys, that is used in program. Like for example, if the land is already moisturized and there's already water in it, then that means it will do it could be a proximity switch. We already reached to the approximate type of land and how moisture kung pili kinahanglan nga moisturize sa land it is. So there we can turn it. It will give signal to turn off the water sprinkler. Or we can do, if you will use the switch, you can set limits kung unsa ra ka percentage nga kinahanglan ang yuta nga ma-moisturize. So more na siya ang limit. It's been 50 to 60%, okay na ang land, if there's 50 to 60% water already, so that's the limit, and it will turn off. It will be a switch that is connected to the water sprinkler to turn it off. Okay, so then you can do both. If you can use the limit switch that will give signal to turn it on or off, or you can have the proximity switch. Once it reaches the approximate time or whatever percentage there, it will turn off or turn on the automation. Okay, so the devices to actuate, guys, so we called it actuators. Okay, so after you use the limit, or you can use also push button, okay, switch, or you have the limit or the proximate switch, then you can have the actuators. You can have the solenoids to actuate, or you can have the motor valve to actuate. Okay, so depende sa inyong gigamit sa inyong industrial automation na process. So here, all of this, guys, okay, from the devices for the humans to operate, to the indicators, okay, from the push buttons that we have to connecting to the indicators, and from the limit switch and the indicator switch that we have for the actuators, it needs to have a PLC, or programming logic controller, okay, for them to control these actuators from the indicators, and from these devices for the switches to the lamps and buzzers. Okay, there. So sequence control, guys, an example of two lamps that's color blue and red with the power supply of the push button switch. So this is the sequence. So you have here two power supply, guys, this one and this one. Okay, and this is the two lamp. This is the one that's red. Okay, this is the red, and this is the one that's blue. Okay, and you have here the push button. Okay, and then the relay. This is the relay, the one in yellow. The relay, guys, this is the one will do the switching from red to blue. Okay, once the button is switched. Okay, when it's still normally open, guys, wala pa na push ang button. Okay, so that means the relay, this one is disconnected. Wala pa siya na-connect. So this is a copper, guys, that will connect this connection para sa red light. Okay, so there. Okay, so kani siya. So this one, the one in yellow, so same na siya diri, guys. So when it is normally open, so the button is not pushed yet, it will do the connection, a copper connection that will have a closed circuit to the power supply and to turn on blue lights. Okay, but then when it is pushed, what will happen is that the copper here will go down. So we'll turn on ang relay, guys, will go up. Okay, and then it will give the connection to the red light. Okay, once it is pushed. Okay, that is for the normally closed, and this one is the normally open contact. Okay, there. So relay for normally open, guys, for normally open relay, what will happen is that there is a electromagnet. Okay, so the electromagnet is open, and then it will go through the electricity flow on this part. Okay, so this is a movable contact, this one on the top. Okay, and that will give you a fixed contact. Okay, but once relay is normally closed, okay, if you see there's no already flow with the electromagnetic, so it will give a contact from the copper from the movable movable contact, and then it will give the flow of electricity. Okay, that's how it will be part in relay. So this is the actual setup from this drawing. Okay, so you have here, we use green instead of blue. Okay, so for the normally open, okay, it will give you green light here. So this is the power supply, and this is the relay. Okay, but once the button is pushed, it will give you light on red. Okay? And once it's released, it will go back to green. Okay? That's how it will be done. Now, uses of relay. Usamday gamit sa relay, ma'am. Okay? It can turn large current it can turn large current to on or off with the use of small amount of current. Okay? So, muna siya. From this one here, from this motor here, okay? So, kinahanglan siya o dako nga kuryente, okay? Para to run. Okay, so with the use of this power here, even if it will only give you 200 to 20 current, okay, volts, okay, with the use of the relay, it can turn large current to on. Okay, so it will use the large current to on in order to supply the large current for the motor to turn on. Okay, so it is also suitable for opening and closing AC circuit like the power connection of the motor. So it will turn on opening and closing of the motor as well. Then this one here, it's sending signals over a long distance. The relay is necessary because high electric current is required. Okay, so from this push button for it to operate from a long signal, you can use relay in order to transfer, okay, the power on a long distance. Okay, there. So the type of chart used in sequence control, guys, we have the flow chart. Okay, as you can see here, this is the flow on how we're going to turn on the blue light and the red light. Okay, so the one in triangle, guys, I don't know if you have programming and subject, but the one in triangle, guys, when you see triangle, that is what we call a decision box. DB, decision box. Okay, now this is a process box. PB, process box, the one in square. Okay, and this one, the one in oblong, guys, it could be the start or stop. Okay, that's how we use in a flow chart. Okay, so here, oblong here is the power on, so let's start. Okay, when it is on, guys, and when it's power on, when the circuit is power on, it will do the normally open contact. Okay, when it will process the normally open contact. Once the normally open contact is processed, it will turn on blue light. Okay, and then after that, it will go to the decision box. The decision box, it is a question, guys, that is answerable by yes or no, or true or false. Okay, so what is the question there is the push button switch. Okay, push button switch press. Kung is-press ba ang push button switch? If it's no, or wala, normally open gihapon siya, it will still go back here and that will still turn on the blue light. Now, if it's a yes, it will go down. That means what will happen, it will do this process. So it will do the normally closed process. And what will happen for a normally closed process, it will open red light. Okay? So this is the process that done when the push button is on. And this is the process will be done if the push button is off. Okay, so it will go back again to this decision. Is it still is the push button switch pressed? If it's still yes, then it will still have the red light, and it will go back. If it's no na, so it will go back to this one. This one, and it will turn on blue light. Okay, for normally open. Now, using the timing chart, guys, so there are two processes actually in using the sequence control. You can have the flow charting and you can also have the timing chart. Now, in the timing chart, you can see there the sequence. Okay, push button, relay, blue lamp, and red lamp. Okay, so this is the first timing. So if it's normally open, blue light is lit. Okay, now here in this part here, the second part, you have here na actuations. It is a press or release. If it's press, the push button will be closed, the relay is open, and then what will happen here? The red light is on. Okay, now once it is released, it will go back to this space here, and then blue light will be lit. Okay, So this is when push, red light will on, and when release, the blue light is lit. Okay? So that is what we use, that is the representation if we will be using a timing chart. Now here, this is a pneumatic circuit already guys using a sequence control. So muna ni siya guys ang naa sa inyuhang activity. Okay, so this is really similar to this. Ang nakalahi lang is ang iyahang sequence. Okay, so what is it here? So you have here two cylinders. This is cylinder A and cylinder B. Okay, now when you say A plus guys, that means, okay, ang diri man good sa programming, sa kuan guys, sa term, ay nakalimot sa fluid sim. Okay, fluid sim. So sa fluid sim manggod nga kani siyang nga circuit gigamit manggod namo ang fluid sim. So walay A plus ngadto. So ang nangat to is A plus the A0, this one, that is for A minus, A1 for A plus. Okay? So what is it done? Okay? That means guys, if it's A plus, that means A1 man siya, so meaning eject. Okay? So A plus equals A1. So that means eject. Letter E. Okay? Same as a B guys ha? Meaning B plus. Okay, this is B0. So what will happen? The current status of B here is B0. So B0 kung AA plus, so meaning A minus is equals to A0. And that is equals to retract. Okay? There. So this is the retraction. This is the R. And this is one, the A1 here. This is the eject. So same guys, kung si B1 sa diyang status, meaning ni-eject ni si cylinder B. Okay? And you already understand this type man. This is the indirect actuation. Okay? Now, if you notice guys, this is a what we're using here for this is in idle return. Okay, idle return of valve. So you can see it's still spring return, but this one, this is already an idle return. There is a switch. There is a sequence before it will actuate this part. Okay, there is a sequence that needs to be that happened first before it will actuate this part. There is a sequence for this to happen before it will actuate this part. For A plus, this is A plus, this is A minus, I mean, and this is A plus here. Okay, so this is A plus, A minus, eject, retract. This is B plus, eject, and B minus, retract. Okay, nakasabot pa guys? Yes ma'am. Okay, so please do follow. So ako sang ilimpiyuhon ha, limpiyuhon sa nako para makakita mo sa sequence. Okay, so ano lang. So this is retract. Okay? So once na dito sequence, atong sequence mag-start is A plus. So meaning, muna ni siya, naka A plus na ni, eject. Okay? Naka A plus na guys ha, this is already A plus, eject. So once na day last nga status before mag A plus, so this is the last status guys, before mag A plus, and that is B minus. That is why if it is a piloted idle return valve, na diri ang last status, dili man na to push button na tong gigamit guys. This is what we use, the idle return valve. Okay? So that is using a piloted na siya nga valve. Okay? So unsa man ang A minus, that is B0. So muna siya diri at the status of B0, wala pa siya ni-eject kani siya, si B wa pa na-eject. Okay? So meaning si A plus una here. Now once it eject, unsay sunod? Ang sunod kay si B plus. So meaning si A plus or A1 muna siya ang triggering port. Okay? or muna siya ang triggering sa valve sa AB+. So this is the B+ connection here. So unsay naa diri naa si A1 or A+. After ni eject siya, unsay mahitabo? Okay, ni-eject na si B+, ni-eject na. So unsay magawas na siya. So unsay mahitabo? Ang sunod si A diri mo balik na. So kanina siya atong ipa-trigger. Okay, to retract. So meaning this one here, this type of valve here for the idle return valve, this is what we call the unsa may naa diri guys. Igbalik para mo balik si A-. Unsay last nga step nga gibuhat? Unsay supposed to be naa diri? Anyone? Anyone has the idea? Kaya itong balikon ha. Balikon na ito. Kaya wala idea. So langga, this is the first one. A+. A+ is A1. So meaning, eject. So unsa may naa diri para mo eject na siya. Para mo eject na siya diri dapat si P, si cylinder wheel naka-close. Wala pa ni eject. So this status is B0 or B-. So mo nang naa diri is B0 or B-. So if you notice siya pud ang last. So ang last ana mo first nga mo eject. Now unsay sunod mahitabo sa sequence? Sunod kay B+. Okay? So B+, kani siya. Mo trigger siya para mo gawas si B. Okay? So unsa may naa diri? Para mo eject si B. Unsa may previous niya? Dara ang previous guys, si A+. So mo nang na A1 diri or A+. Kasabot? Nakuha ang sequence guys. Nakuha mga langga. Remember ha? Remember guys.
Yes ka sa comment?
Remember, natay duha ka, kani siya, double acting cylinder. Duha yung valve. Kani nga valve diri, mo ni siya ang eject. Kani nga valve, mo ay retract. Kani sad nga valve, mo ay eject. Kani nga valve here is retract. Sabtan. Nakasabot guys?
Yes, Miss Madam.
Yes, miss.
Okay, very good. So kung nakasabot na, meaning, kung atong first sequence, ang atong sequence ha, dara atong sequence guys, A+, B+, A-, B-. Okay, so muna ang atong sequence nga sulbaron. Okay, so A+, meaning, ang A+ is eject. So kani siya, ato ni siyang palihukon. Kani para magawa siya, ma-eject. So unsa may naka-trigger nimo diri, dapat ibutang nimo diri para mo na. Para mulihok na siya, unsa may last sequence? B-. So dapat sud sa si B, wa pa ni gawas. So munang naa diri, mo ni siya si B0 or B-. So kung B- ang status, off ni siya si cylinder B, meaning mo eject si cylinder A. A+. Okay? So after siya mo eject, unsay sunod sa step sa sequence? B+. Unsa man ang B+? Mo eject A+, kani A+, or meaning B+ or B1 is equals to eject. So ang sunod ni A+ kay mo eject man, so kani siya atong patriggeron para mo eject siya diri. So meaning unsa may naa diri di ay ang naa dinhi guys is si A1 ang previous nga A+, ang previous na step. So meaning after siya mo eject si A+, mo eject sa si B+, na unsay sunod ron? Ang sunod is mo retract si A, si cylinder A, which is A-. Okay? So meaning unsa man day at kani palihupon nato ni guys para mo retract si A, mahimong A-. So unsa may naa diri sa iyahang kuan guys? Sa iyahang retract? Masay maka-trigger niya?
B plus.
Very good. So, meaning ang naa-diri si B plus. Okay? So, after na siya ni B plus, after siya ni eject si Silencer B, meaning after niya i-trigger niya, muna siya i-trigger diri ni eject sa A minus. Okay? So, iya i-retract. Okay? I mean, retract ha. Sorry. So kani siya nga valve here, this one valve is triggered by B plus. Okay? This one, ejection. So once B plus is ejected, it will trigger this valve and that will retract A minus. So muna siya. Then after niya, guys, is B minus. So this one, B minus na ang sunod. So meaning, unsay maka-trigger ani niya nga valve? Unsa nga step?
A minus.
A minus.
Very good. So this is E minus. Okay? So muna na siya, guys. Muna siya ang sequence. Muna siya ang naadiri. What you need to write here is A plus and you here is A minus. Okay? So muna ni siya inyong drawing on. I will just rearrange the sequence here. Now remember, guys, before this sequence start, it will have a connection of a 3-2-way valve with a push button switch and a spring return. Okay? Push button, i-push na to button. Okay? Now remember, guys, asa nakakonect ang push button? Nakakonect ang push button sa first nga step, which is the A plus. This one. So muna siya nakakonect na siya din ha. Because once it is pushed, it will trigger here with the status of kaning nga cylinder is off pa, which is B0. Status of B0 mo trigger na ni siya nga valve, okay, to eject. Okay? Now this one, ayaw mo kalibog ani, kay kani siya ang atoang symbol for compressor. So meaning, tanang mga compressor port diri sa mga valve atong gigamit na connect na niya tanan diha, naka-centralize. This is for the compressor na valve. Okay? So we need to connect a compressor man sa fluid sim. We need to connect a compressor of all the compressor port sa ato ang mga valve nga gigamit. Okay? So nasabtan na, guys. So remember, the switch is connected to where it's supposed to be the first start. Okay? So meaning, kung ang start diri is B plus, so meaning, asa man is B plus, na diri. So muna si B plus. So apat, ari na diri naka-connect si push button switch and then everything is connected below to the all ports to the compressor port. Okay? Kung nag-start the sequence kay si B minus, so meaning, ari na diri naka-connect diri ang push button switch. So once it's pushed, it will trigger the B minus. There, make sure nga correct ang sequence diri sa inyong piloted ninyong return valve. Okay? Para makaibaw kung unsa na. This one represents the sequence, guys. This one represents the sequence. Mao ni siya atong gigamit. Kani. Okay? Nasabtan ra, guys. Is it understood? Demo ra ba ninyong buhaton sa inyo ang two activities for today? After my discussion. Nasabtan ra? Nasabtan lang ga? Nakasabot ra?
Tubog, bin.
Yes, madam.
Okay, thank you. So if you notice, guys, ang A plus, dadri o, muna siya ang A plus. So, nasa last niya, B minus. Okay? Nasi? B minus, dara si A plus. This is A plus, and this valve here is A minus. So, sa sunod ni A minus, si B plus, tanawa diri na, dira si B plus. Napo diri si B minus. Kani siya, this is B plus. So, ang say trigger na diri, ang say sunod ni B plus, dara, si A plus. So, muna siya na, si A plus. Okay? Kani siya diri kay si B minus. Okay, this is B minus. Ang say sunod ni B minus, si A plus. Muna, A minus, muna na diri sa si A minus. Okay, nakasabot ra?
Sa kami naman lang yung tulo.
Is it understood, guys?
Yes, miss.
Mahal.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, let me proceed. Thank you, guys. So this is the actuation na. I will play it for you, guys. siya ma-play. So this is the So there. So you notice guys, yan ang i-turn on. So i-push niya sa button. When the button is pushed here, so you see, nagpuli-puli sila actuate. Okay? So there. So A plus, A minus, A plus, B plus, then A minus, B minus. So that's the, na siya ang iyahang kuhan. So meaning, hindi na ko makita ang pen na. So meaning guys, so muna siya ang kaning si cylinder A dire kaning una. So here, kaning una nga cylinder, this is cylinder A, and this is next one is cylinder B. So if you push button, tanawa mag-una gyud eject dire ang A. There. So see, this lang magdungan guys. Mag-una, sunod then retract, mag-retract sa una sa si cylinder A. Kay mo man nasa tong sequence guys. Atong sequence is A plus, so meaning mag-retract una si cylinder A. Sunod niya, mag-retract si B plus, so retract si cylinder B. Then sunod, teka ni. Okay? So kani siya guys si cylinder A, kani si cylinder B. So if you notice when we play the video, digi sila dungan og retract. Okay, og dungan og balik. Okay? So meaning mag-una gid si retract si A, dayon sunod si B, dayon balik si A, then balik si B. Okay? So depende sa sequence guys nga akong gihatag. So it is followed by this sequence man. So pwede po ta mag A plus, B, A minus, dayon B plus, B minus, pwede po ta B minus, B plus. It depends on what circuit that you need to have to get the desired output of the automation. Okay? So there. So this is also another video guys that we had. So this is the video of the sequence. Okay? So the sequence here is nadunggan ninyo guys.
Promise.
Wala.
Walay
Miss, wala
tingnan
siya
mo.
sound.
Okay, wala sound. Thank you. So if you notice guys, here. So once it is start, okay, unsay nahitabo is ang iyahang cylinder, both of the cylinder is in a normally closed. Okay, meaning wa pa sa na-extract. So after that, unsay mauna mahitabo, cylinder A una, so this is sa ubos, so A plus ang una, okay? It will eject, okay? It will go to the cylinder after A plus, guys. What will happen, it will turn on the cylinder B, okay, to transfer the package to the next conveyor, okay? So A plus, and then followed by B plus. So this is the example that I had you a while ago. So lain na siya nga process ang gigamit. Okay? So B plus, and after B plus guys, it will have A minus. So once the package is transferred to the next conveyor, okay? And then it will retract or retract the cylinder A. So it will do A minus na. So see? A minus here. So A minus, and after that, once it is already on the conveyor below, okay, once it is already in the A minus start, it complete retraction of the cylinder A. After that, it will do the B minus or the transfer cylinder to retract. Okay, so it magwat gina siya sa fully retraction, especially if we have a throttle nga percentage, guys. It's not 100%. If we will do like ipahinay na to ang iyahang extraction o retraction, ipahinay na to into 20%, 50%, or 45%. So same iyang retraction o ejection mo gina same ra gina siya nga speed. Not unless kung atong gigamit natong one-way flow control nga check valve the 100% ang output, so mobalik ra dayon. But this one, it is using the same percentage. Okay? So it is using the same percentage, okay, for both extraction and retraction. It's still using the A plus, B plus, A minus, and B minus sequence. Okay? So this one is the industrial automation that we had in our laboratory langga. So this is the training that we had last week before we had our community extension the other week. So this is here. This is what we have. You see there the indicator, guys. You see there the switches also. Okay. So you will see how it will going to transfer a chip. Okay, a chip from the distribution to the sorting. Okay, so here it inject there. You can see there okay, so i-inject na niya, dayon i-test niya sa ikaduha there. And then after that, i-stamp, okay, for processing there. And then i-suction, okay, going to the next part, which is indexing. So there. Ano siya, i-check ang chips. There. So this is a mini automation that we had in our laboratory, guys, using the Siemens PLC, and there it will do the sorting. Okay, so this is what we had in our training, guys. So this is what we have right now in our laboratory. So this is also the things that we will be using together with Sir Docs for your PLC. So we will use each of this process. There are 5 processes here: the distribution, the testing, the processing, the indexing, and the sorting. So we can use this different process in a different programming method. Okay, depende sa ato ang paggamit. We can use either 2 lang, distribution, and then process, and then sorting. We can do that. Okay, we can mix and match all of this process with the use of our PLC. It really depends, guys, on what is the usage and what is the desired output that you have. Okay, so there. So I think that's the end of my slide, mga langga. Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions, guys? Okay. So there. So kato mga langga, that's why I don't want to rely in any discussion and pre-recording discussion, because I really want to know your understanding before I proceed to the other slides, because that discussions that we had with the sequencing, that is the activity that you will be doing after this. So I will be posting your activity to your Google Classroom, mga langga, and I hope that you will find time to do it, and then make sure that you will finish it before Friday or on Friday, maybe. Okay, we can have the entire day of Friday as well. Okay, discussions so the deadliest deadline for your activity, guys, will be on Friday evening, which is at 9 p.m. Okay, so there. So then we will inject the last topic that we have in semifinals, which is the electro-pneumatic circuit designing, and then after that we will be having our PLC na for the final coverage. Okay, any questions, guys? Wala namin. Thank you, Fridge. Thank you, Darwin. Okay, so wait sa guys, kay nag-screenshot ko sa mga naa kay my desktop is not working because walay load pa si CTU nga connectivity kit. So I'm using my cell phone right now for the screenshots for those who are here today. So I'll just call your name, guys, ha? No need for you to mention or say present or say anything. So in my attendance for the screenshot, I have here Eliza, Angelica, Restauro, Angelica Bella, Clarence, Darwin, Devrilet, Donna Marie, Eric Angelo, Fritchilin, Gia, Erica, Jamaica Marie, Jared, Jendi Sija, or Cyriline May, Giselle, Jerome, Jonah, Joseph, Kim, Crystalline, Maria Erica, Marielle, Mary Ann, Mary Antoinette, Melvin Nick, Nicole Ann, Princess, Rafa, Rico J, Renaline, Ronnie, Tracy, and Yancy. So those are the people I have here in my screenshot, guys. So I think if we don't have any questions, guys, and thank you for coming up for today's discussion, and my apology for giving you late grades for your midterm. So don't you worry, guys. I'll make sure I finish everything. My